Hey everyone, we're going to talk about CSS now, so let me just give you a brief introduction. So we're going to start by looking at an example so that you can see what it does. So here's a web page. Here's what it looks like without style sheets. So this is what you guys have been doing so far. This is what you're used to. And then when we add styles, then we can change the way that it looks. We can change the font face, we can change the font sizes, we can change the layout, we can add background colors and text colors. And here's another example. It's the same HTML, the only thing that's different is the CSS. So you can see how much you can do just with styles. Here's another example and another example that looks really different. So CSS has a lot of advantages. Obviously it makes it look better, and if we use our CSS properly, we can have more consistent design throughout the website, and we can make it super easy to maintain if we put our styles into a separate document, because we can link to that from a bunch of web pages. So just as an example, we could have one style sheet that all of the web pages link to, and let's say that I want to change the font. I just change it in that one style sheet, upload it, and then the whole website is changed. And that's a lot easier than going through and changing every single page. Style sheets are composed of rules. Each rule has a selector and declarations, and each declaration includes a property and a value. So the selector is basically telling the style sheet what it is that you want to change. In this case, we're telling the body to display text with a blue color, and so notice the curly braces that go around all the declarations, and if you have more than one declaration, then at the end of the declaration you would add a semicolon. So there are three places where we can put the CSS. First is what we call inline, and that is the most specific, and in that case what you do is you put the code into the HTML element as an attribute. An embedded style sheet affects the entire page, and in this case the code goes in the head section of the web page and you put it in a style element, and then finally you can put all your styles into one or more external style sheets, and those are just files that have a .css extension, and in that case then you use a link tag in your head to link it to that CSS file. So sometimes you can have conflicting rules. Like, for example, maybe I have something that sets the background color for H2 and I put it in a couple of different places, and in that case you have to know what overwrites what. So this is the order that it goes in. First it loads a browser defaults, and then it will look at the external style sheets, then it'll look at embedded styles, and then it will look at inline styles, and then finally HTML attributes. And so here's a little example. Let's say that I have green paragraphs in the external style sheet and then pink paragraphs in the embedded styles. Well, what's going to happen is that the embedded styles will overwrite the external styles, and so you would end up with pink paragraphs.